I'm Chris from Airwindows, and hey, you can do this. Okay, maybe you don't want to do exactly that, but I have a plugin to show you, and with a bit of luck, this will be adequate to elucidate what the plugin's about. So let's see here. What we have here is a set of plugins and a weird sort of random mix that I threw together off of the synthesizers and stuff. The reason I'm using this is because it should distort into an interesting sounding mess, because what we've got for you today is called Console7Crunch. I've been experimenting with stuff having to do with ultrasonic and hypersonic, and well, you can do this. Firstly, this is the sound of Console7 Cascade at its default setting. It's not really overloading or distorting very much, but this kind of plugin is set up to be able to clip quite hard. That sounds like this. You'll notice that it pulled back the gain a little bit as it did that. Console7Crunch is exactly the same as Console7 Cascade, but the staging of where it's essentially running ultrasonic inside itself, and the staging of where that goes is reversed. So Console7 Cascade boosts high frequencies. Here, high frequencies like this, harder before clipping. Console7Crunch does the reverse. It cuts before clipping and boosts into the last stages. So that one sounds, here, let's with sort of minimal clipping, we can switch it over to Console7Crunch. You'll see the little wires in Bespoke do this. Now you may or may not already notice a tiny difference in the sound quality between this and this. But you'll probably notice it more easily when I turn it up like I did with this. Same setting. So what we've got with the original Console7 Cascade, which is the plugin that sits in a Console7 mix, and you can replace Console7 channel with it and get way more gain like this, but it'll still sit in the mix appropriately. That's why we've got it going into Console7 bus. It's supposed to be part of a much larger mix that is running this kind of thing. Console7Crunch, on the other hand, so you see what I mean? Oh, and since we're in Bespoke, let's just make this go back and forth automatically. And we'll pin that and stick that over here. And you can hear this is now Console7Crunch, Console7 Cascade. It's going back and forth kind of rapidly here. Let's maybe reverse that. So that's the more tubey one. That's the crunchier one. So that's how this works, is we've got the extremely high boost going on, and I've padded it down rather a lot. And using Console7Crunch, and the only difference, it still works with Console 7, is that this one, here, let me clean it up a little bit. Here's what I had going on there. You can hear the slighter smoothing sound off of this. And then if I switch over to Console7Crunch, it's a little edgier. There's our crunch. And there's the slightly tubier sound of Console7 Cascade. You can hear it quite easily on this hi-hat. Here's Console7 Cascade. And then Console7Crunch has just got more edge to the clip, even though it's exactly the same algorithm. A little softer. And we can do it with these drums as well. This is fully cranked into Console7 Cascade, and with that, it's fairly similar. But when you start including other sounds, you get a little more of the edge off of that. Let's dial it back to have it be less annoying. And again, this is a little bit of a science project here. Console7 Cascade, Console7Crunch. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel the additional presence of that hi-hat edge there. And we can dial it right back. Or put it back in again. So there you have it. Console7Crunch is part of my experimentation. I'm trying to get some of this stuff further developed, and I've got a number of things in store along these lines. I hope you like it. This might be the last thing that I bring into specifically Console 7. Also, let me pause these guys now that I'm not using them. My hopes is that I can build this into a kind of system for experimenting around and doing a lot of these things. And again, like I said, I hope you like it. I'm sorry for not doing as much live streaming as I had been. There's some personal stuff going on. I may let you in on that at some point. But for now, just know that I am still working on things, and I've got a number of things in the hopper ready to put out. And this is my one for Sunday, January 30th. And I will follow up on that. This all, of course, is supported by my Patreon. The Patreon is going to be supporting a lot this coming year because I have publicly said that I was going to support the clap plugin format. That is a new plugin format that people are coming up with, basically because they're not entirely happy with how current formats are going. It's an open source format. A variety of people are very excited about it, and I'm seeing it as a way to kind of reboot and tackle a bunch of interesting things, such as more elaborate plugins, perhaps, graphics. And the interesting thing about that is I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in quite the way that I've been doing the Airwindows plugins, so forth. So it's going to be more along the lines of a collaborative effort with people who know more about these things getting to have a role in the process. And the current pile of Airwindows plugins is going to act more like a library for me to draw on. And more on that as things are revealed. One of the things I've noticed is that I am having, I feel that it's awkward putting out VST 2.4s in the current day and age because Steinberg doesn't let anybody support those in host programs anymore. So that's a bit of a problem. All I can say is I'm working on it and I'm needing a bunch of help, but I'm getting it. And given time and opportunity, I will get through all of this and I'll be able to bring a new wave of plugins that people might enjoy. For now, I will simply bid you adieu, and I hope you enjoy Console7Crunch. I've got more than that coming along. If you follow the threads that I've posted, you'll see a lot of discussion about things like that. As for the last plugin that I put out, Monitoring 2, if you're having any problems with it, go and download an update. I've done 2 updates in the last couple of days just because stuff was getting past me, and I believe I've got it all caught now. There was a situation where in double precision processing on the VST, it wasn't aligning the control with the setting very well. And then there was another thing where on single precision processing on the VST, the side option wasn't available because it was just giving you mid, and I fixed both of those. So if you're having either of those problems, download the fix. I'll do the best I can. There's a lot of work, and I have to do this in the middle of shoveling my own walk and carrying my own firewood and all of these kinds of things. You have no idea. Maybe I'll tell you about this all someday. For now, thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.